everybody, it's me Adele and welcome to my channel Sew for Serenity, where I talk to you about my sewing journey. Talk to you about my love for fabrics, patterns, dressmaking and general sewing and life chit chats. If that sounds of interest to you, keep on watching. Welcome back to all my regular viewers, and if you're new here, I hope you enjoy this vlog and consider subscribing. So today's vlog is all about my wonderful experience on Saturday at SewBrum. Now SewBrum is a free event that is co-hosted by Charlotte of Charlotte Powell Patterns and also Lauren from Guthrie Ghani, and it's basically a sewing meetup in the city centre of Birmingham, and you get to meet up, have tea, coffee, then move on and do some shopping around the rag market, and also a couple of well-known cheap fabric shops basically, which is Barris and I think it's called the Fancy Silk Store. And then after that, heading off to Guthrie Ghani for tea and cake and a charity raffle. So all the funds raised on SewBrum go towards St Basil's charity, which is for Birmingham and Solihull's Women's Aid, so a really great cause. As I said, it's free to attend, and it's run every year. I think it's its 9th year. I'm not sure it was on when COVID hit, but you know, it's been running for quite a long time. And I'd never been to anything like this before, and it was actually Nadia from Stitch and Style who I met at the dressmakers ball, who kind of mentioned she was going and asked me if I was going. And to be honest, I did know about SewBrum, but I hadn't really looked into it, and after she mentioned it to me, I was like, definitely going to go to that. So I saved up some money, put aside some money for that event. I think I had about £130 I think I had, that I'd saved up especially for going to SewBrum. And I'd actually, despite living in Birmingham, I have never ever been shopping at the rag market, and I've never been shopping at Barris or the silk store. I have been to Guthrie Ghani, and I do have an actual shop tour of that and review, which I'll link to if you ever want to check it out. So I had been there and purchased fabrics from them before, and I've purchased fabrics from them online before, but I'd never been to the other stores. I obviously knew that I was going to meet Nadia. Nadia lives up north, but was coming down especially for the events. That was really nice. And then also I'd been chatting to a lady on Instagram who basically, it turned out, lives 5 minutes up the road. Her name's Sarah. Hi Sarah. And she literally lives 10 minutes around the corner from me, and she messaged me to say, are you going to SewBrum? And I was like, yes, I'm going. And she was like, oh well, I think I'm going to go. So I picked her up. Never met her before, but obviously we've got a love for sewing, and we have chatted on Instagram quite a bit, so I thought it'd be really, really nice for me to pick her up, and we went together. So that was really nice. And oh my God, I turned up at her house, picked her up, and we didn't stop talking the whole time. We have got quite a lot in common in respect of she's got 3 boys, I've got 3 girls, and you know, we're both mums, both busy mums, and yeah, both love sewing, so that was really nice. When we got to Birmingham, we all met up at the Edwardian Tea Rooms in the museum in Birmingham, which I'd never actually been to. And as we were going in, we bumped into a few other sewists, and it was a lovely couple called Tanya and Marcus. Hi Tanya and Marcus, if you're watching. I don't know if you do watch me, but I'll say hello anyway. And they were from London, and they were a lovely couple. I'm not sure if they were married, but they were a couple, and both love sewing, so that's really nice. And then also met a lovely lady called Shannon, who had recently moved to Birmingham. She was on her own, and you know, we just invited her to come and sit with us. And she is the Sewing Warehouse on she's a Sewing Warehouse on Instagram, and she's actually started her own little sewing challenge, an autumn challenge called #longsleeves22. So yeah, I thought it was quite nice. So I've been following her on Instagram, and also shared her challenge, because who doesn't love a long sleeve? So yeah, so we met up in the Edwardian Tea Rooms. We had a cup of tea and we just chatted about sewing, life, and before we knew it, it was like 11:15. I bumped into Adele from Button and Pip, who I'd already met at the dressmakers ball. So hello Adele, if you're watching. And so we were chatting as well, which was nice to see her again. And yeah, it was just like a really lovely day. Oh, I met Sandeep from Sister Mantaka, Also obviously met Lauren as well, which I was so happy about, and I did ask for a photograph. Felt a bit crazy asking for a photograph, but I got a lovely photograph, and I'll insert a picture there for you. And yeah, it was just really nice. So we basically then went en masse to the rag market and just went shopping basically. But it was basically just loads of us sewists, and had kind of descended on the rag market, and but it was nice because you'd be in the queue with somebody and they'd be like, oh, what have you bought, and what are you thinking of making, and you know, it's just really lovely just to chat to people. Like, you know, there's no awkwardness. You stood in the queue with someone looking to pet, and you were like asking them where they come from. Just really lovely sewing chat, which and live chat, which I just really love. So yeah, I mean, if you've never been on one of these meetups, I highly recommend it. I absolutely loved it. And if you haven't got anybody to go with, just come on your own. Someone will take you under their wing and speak to you, or you just go up to someone and say, look, I'm on my own, do you mind if I join you? Nobody would have a problem with that. So yeah, it was just absolutely fantastic. I loved it. Now, I was a bit rubbish. I didn't take massive amounts of footage because I was just enjoying the day, to be honest with you. But what I did actually do is get a lot of fabric, and I did spend my budget, so I've got quite a lot of fabric to show you, and yeah, that's what I'm going to do now. So I will show you the first bit of fabric that I actually bought. So the first piece of fabric, now I have no idea what the makeup of these fabrics are because they're very, very cheap. You know, at the end of the day, they're not going to be 100% cotton. They are going to have some polyester content to them, but that's fine. I'm comfortable with that. So the first fabric is, I would say, kind of like a silky feel, or a satiny feel, yeah, a satiny feel polyester fabric, but it feels really lovely, and I just couldn't resist it. And it's this one, and it was, I've got 4 meters here because it was just under 4 meters on the roll. I only wanted 3, and I think it was £3 a meter, and he basically did me this for, I think, £9, and it's this fabric here. I'm going to stand up. So it's a gorgeous floral, big floral with animal print all over it, and it's got leopards, giraffe print, and I think it's got zebra print down here. Can you see? Gorgeous drape, and I just think this would be lovely for the summer. Now, it probably is a summer fabric because it's quite tropical flowers, but I've got in my head a lovely faux jumpsuit, like the henna trousers and the Anita cami that is by Tammy Handmade, or even a saguaro set in this. I think would look really nice, or a dress, anything really, but yeah, definitely a summer fabric. And as I say, I got 4 meters of that for £9. Bargain. So yeah, really like that. And I think what I really loved about the rag market was there's loads of fabrics that I hadn't seen before. Obviously when you shop online, you do find that some shops have all the same fabrics, so it gets a bit boring, but yeah, there's just some really lovely fabrics. This would make a really nice bias cut skirt or something like that, but I absolutely love this one. Really good. So the next fabric that I bought was a jersey. Now, I do actually think this is a cotton jersey. It's quite thin, but it is definitely a cotton jersey, and this one was £2.50 a metre, and I absolutely loved it. I got 2 meters of it, and it's super wide fabric as well, and it is a striped khaki fabric, and this is it here with a black stripe through it, and I just love that. I'm going to make probably some kind of, I was going to make a Monroe turtleneck, but then when I got 2 meters, I thought I could probably turn it into a dress, so I'm probably just going to make some kind of turtlenecked cozy dress for the winter. It is thin, so I suppose you can see through it there, but it doesn't feel particularly thin. I think once it's against your skin, it will be fine. And yeah, it's definitely a nice cotton jersey. Now, the next fabric I purchased is got quite a funny story to it. I've been looking at making an hoodie for a while, and walked past this really nice store that was full of cuddle fleece, and I'd been reluctant to buy any cuddle fleece online because I think you really need to touch it and feel it to see the quality of it, and yeah, just saw this fabric and it was stunning. And Me and Sarah actually had the last bit of the bolt, which is just nearly 3 meters, and we're going to we went halves on it, and we're both going to make some kind of hoodie with it, or oversized hoodie. And it's this fabric here, this Christmas fabric. It was quite amusing because she said to me, "Oh, which child are you buying that for?" And I was like, "I'm not buying it for a child, I'm buying it for me." So this is going to make a gorgeous like hoodie, wearable blanket. Obviously we've only got 3 meters between us, so hopefully we can squeeze 2 hoodies out of it. But she's let me have the fabric first to see what pattern I can squeeze out of it, and then obviously I'll give her the remainder of it. But yeah, I just loved it. It's so soft, it's such good quality. The pattern on, I think the way you can tell if it's a good quality cuddle fleece is by the thickness of the pile, and it's got a really nice thickness of pile, and it's also the pattern, although obviously that's the wrong side, it still comes through really well on the wrong side. So yeah, really love this. It's got snowmen, cookies, just beautiful, and I love it. They did have another cuddle fleece which was red with the Christmas trees on it, which I really liked as well, and I'm kind of tempted to get some of that to make the girls some hoodies as well. But yeah, this is just lovely. This was £8.50 a metre. The next piece of fabric that I got from the market was a brushed cotton, and it's a cotton twill, and it's a brushed cotton in this navy. It's a bit boring because it's just plain, but it's just super soft, and I got 2 meters of this because I want to use this for my Pietra pants that I'm going to make. I think that'll look really nice and just really super soft, and it was £5 a metre. So. And then the last 2 fabrics that I got from the rag market itself were some satins, and these were £2 a metre. And I got 2 meters in this rust colour, which is really nice, and I got 2 meters in this olive colour. And I basically am going to make I know in one of the fabrics, probably the green, I'm going to make a mason cowl neck slip, because I just think that will look really lovely. Put on the bias, got a lovely drape. Yeah, and £2 a metre, you can't really go wrong with that. I mean, I don't think I'll stand too close to any naked flames when I'm wearing it, but I really love those colours and thought they were stunning, and they work really well together. And again, me and Sarah both got these fabrics. We actually have very similar taste in fabric, so that's quite amusing. So then after we'd been to the market, we went over to the fancy silk store, which, to be honest with you, I have got a bit of footage which I'll put in. I found it really overwhelming. The fabrics are kind of piled high up to the wall, and you can't kind of get them out and feel them very easily. So I didn't like it too much, to be honest with you. And I didn't think it was super cheap either. I did buy some fabric from there, but purely because I just fell in love with it, really. I hadn't seen it anywhere else, so I'll just grab it. And I don't know what kind of fabric it is. It's got some stretch in it. And it's a woven, but it's got some stretch in it, and it'd be like a trouser weight, and it's this dark green with this like animal, I'd say, like, I don't even think if it's zebra print, but it reminded me of animal print all over it. And I just thought, again, that'd make a nice pair of dungarees, definitely. And it's a narrow fabric, this, so I did get 3 meters, and it was £6.99 per metre, so that was quite reasonable, but again, not anything near like the £2 a metre kind of mark. And it's just got a really nice texture to it as well. But yeah, love that. Thought it was really pretty. Are you bored yet? So after that, we headed over to Barris, which is I just love Barris. I definitely see more visits to Barris in my life. I'd heard of them before, but never been. So yeah, it's a great experience. Really super cheap, nice fabrics, and good quality fabrics too. The first fabric was a real intentional purchase. I realised this week that I need a black coat. I don't have one in my wardrobe, and I do want one. So I was looking for a black fabric to make a coat in, and I wanted 3 meters. Now I have got some black boiled wool, but I only have 2 meters of it, and for the coat that I want to make, I do need 3 meters. And it's the Tessuti Oslo coat which I want to make. Got the pattern ready to go. And every time I looked at black fabric, I was like, well, it's nice, but it's black. And it's just boring. So when I saw this fabric, I thought, wow, this is like amazing. It's black, but it's got that little bit of special sparkle in it that makes it a bit different. So this is the fabric. Now, I don't know if you can, I'm gonna have to hold it up. Is the sparkle coming up in that? I don't know if it is or not, but basically it's got this grid running through it with this kind of sparkly, I mean, it looks like tinsel. Oh yeah, you can see it. And yeah, it's obviously jet black and will make a really nice coat. And I got 3 meters of this, and I think it was, oh, I've got the receipt actually. £5.95 a metre, and I got 3 meters of that. So an absolute bargain. I mean, it's not, you can get, it's not very often you can get a coat out of £15, is it? So yeah, really, really like that. Excited to get that one sewn up. And that is on my make 9, so it's definitely something that I want to get done. And then the next purchases were all just impulse buys. The worst thing about Barris is you go up to the queue to have your fabric cut, and as you're waiting, you're surrounded by fabric. So half of these fabrics I picked up as I was like waiting to get my coating fabric cut out. But this was on the £2 bargain table, and it is this stretch polyester fabric, but it's got this like animal print. I think it's an animal print, but it's like a shimmery gold. It's got nice drape, and I got 3 meters of this. Should I get 3 meters? Yeah, I got 3 meters of this. Not actually sure why I got that much, because it was probably because it was £2. And yeah, probably like some kind of dress with it, with a big poofy sleeve, a billy sweatshirt would look amazing in this. Yeah, I just really fell in love with the glittery element of it. I also thought it might look nice against this, underneath the dungarees that I'm thinking of making. So that was £6 for those 3 meters. The next one was also on the bargain table, and it was this mustard knit fabric that actually has, I think it might be a fault. It's got like a white line going through it, but it's very consistently all the way through it. So I just thought it was quite a nice detail because it's a stripe basically. So yeah, I'm thinking, I think I got 3 meters of this. Got 2 meters of this. So I'm thinking some kind of like, something like the Nico dress would look nice in this rib knit. And again, this was £2 a metre, so those 2 metres cost me £4. And then I also brought this kind of knitted jumper fabric, and it's like a Lorex, it's got a glitter in it in a beautiful teal, and that was £4.95, and I got 1.5 metres of this. I just thought that'd be a really nice grown-up jumper for Christmas. Right, sorry about that. I've had a change of clothes because I got interrupted halfway through filming this, and it's about 3 or 4 days later, and I am trying to pick up where I left off. So if I repeat anything, I'm sorry. It's been a second for you, but it's been 3 or 4 days for me. So I'm going to pick up where I left off. So I think I was talking about my Barris haul, and I'd gone through most of the fabrics, but I had a couple more to show you. So the next 3 are Viscoses. And these were £3.95 a metre. So the first one is this beautiful one here, which is like I say a leopard print, animal print, or just is it spots? I don't know, but I was drawn to it. The colours, if you know me, you know these are my colours. Yeah, I loved it. So I got 2 meters of that to make a shirt or something. I don't know what, but yeah, I just thought that was really nice. And then the next fabric I just absolutely fell in love with, and I had everything off the roll. I think there was 2 meters, or just over 2 meters, and it was £3.95, and it's this beautiful autumnal colours, but kind of summery print. So it's this leaf print, but with these browns, pink and greens, and I just, that's really, really nice. I fell in love with that one. So I had the last on the bolt there, and yeah, that's really, really nice. And these are all really good quality viscoses as well. They're just super soft, really nice. And then finally, as I was paying, Sarah, who'd already paid and was waiting for me very patiently, was left to her own devices and started rummaging through kind of a discount bin of viscoses and polycottons. And she basically decided to enable me to buy this fabric. I think she bought 3 meters of this. It's a grey kind of cloud-like viscose with stars and hearts on it, and it was £2 a metre. So I bought 3 meters. I couldn't resist it, and I just think peaches. This has got closet core pajamas all over it with a beautiful white binding. I think would be super nice. So I'm a big fan of the closet core pajamas. They are time consuming to make, but they're stunning. So yeah, I basically bought these and bought this because Sarah made me. So thanks, Sarah. So I think so far me and Sarah are going to make matching pajamas and matching hoodies. So that was everything that we bought in Birmingham City Centre, and after that we were absolutely exhausted. I think it was probably about 2:30 at this point, or 2 o'clock at this point, and we needed to head back over to Guthrie Ghani, which is out of the city centre. Luckily I took my car so I could drive us, but we had the mission to get back to the car with all of our bags, and my massive bag from Barris broke. So me and Sarah was stumbling through town, and bless her, she was carrying quite a lot of my stuff. I was trying to carry mine like this. I mean, I wish I took a photograph of how mental we looked, because we just looked like bag ladies. But yeah, we managed to have a little pit stop, grab a drink, which was well needed. And then we headed back to the car, filled up the boot with all of our haul and headed off to Guthrie Ghani. And when we got there, things were well underway. At Guthrie Ghani, Lauren was putting on like cakes and drinks, and there was a raffle, as I say, in aid of the charity, the women's charity, and you know, you could buy raffle tickets for £1, and there was lots of great prizes. And then there was lots of remnants that were on special offer. There was 10% off, there was buy one get one free, loads of great stuff on. So I did have a little look, and I was very, very restrained, to be honest with you. I could have spent hundreds of pounds in Guthrie Ghani, but I didn't. So before I did actually purchase anything, they had a pattern and fabric swap. So I took a couple of patterns with me, took about 4 or 5 patterns, and I took 3 or 4 pieces of fabric that I didn't was not going to sew up, and put them in the on the table, and then had a quick look at what fabrics they had that I might be interested in. And I picked up 2 fabrics. The first one I have already shared on my plans video for the Pietra pants and Celio top, and it was this. I think it's a viscose, or I'm not sure what the content is, but I just loved the pattern, loved the colours, and I've got well over 1.5 meters here, which I just thought was ample enough fabric. So yeah, really, really like that, and I got that one. And then also they had this French terry, which I'd say is about 1 metre, and it's in this like brownie, chocolatey colour, and I just thought that'd be great for colour blocking, and yeah, in my colour palette as well. So I picked that up as well. So they were my 2 fabrics that I got from the fabric swap. And then I also picked up a few patterns. So the first one I just thought was really nice. When I first saw the front of it, I thought, oh, I've got something like this before, which is the ruffle top from Peppermint magazine. But then what I really liked was the back detail was really cute. So it's got like this square elasticated back, and I just fell in love with that. So yeah, I think that'd be really super cute for in the summer. And there's 3 different views, different backs. And on the back you can see you've got the plain back, you've got a little tie, or you've got like a crossover, which I just thought was super cute. And that's a simplicity pattern, so I really like that. And then the next couple are obviously ones from Love Sewing magazine, but they must have been from before I started subscribing, because I haven't got either of these. And there's this cocoon dress, which is a jersey dress, which I really, really like. And then the other one is the Lauren set, which is basically a loose fitted polo neck dress, which obviously you can use in a tunic or a t-shirt, but I just love that, so snap that up as well. And then finally there was these magazines that someone had bought in, and they're a little bit like Fibre Mood magazine. So they're basically a magazine that has patterns in there that you trace out, and you'd got there was a couple of things that caught my eye. There was a coat pattern and a shirt pattern, and then also I really liked the little girl's dress pattern. So I picked that up, and yeah, it's really nice actually. It's called Victor. I've never heard of it, but really nice pattern magazine, and talks you through obviously the instructions and everything. So I picked that up as well. And then we move on to the fabric. So I was very, very restrained. I spent £22 in Guthrie Ghani, and that was on a couple of remnant pieces. So the first one was this one, which was a bolt end. It's 165 centimetres, and it's a stretch viscose. It's got a little bit of stretch in it, and it's this beautiful colour. I'm not going to unroll it because it's just all neatly tidied up, but that was £13, reduced from 19, and then obviously got 10% off that, and it's in a cream and rust colour, which was really nice. So the next one was a bolt end. It was only 30 centimetres, but I just really loved the fabric of it, colour of it, and it's rusts and mauves, and I just thought pocket bags would be perfect, so, or facings, and I just really like that, so I snapped that up. It's £2.50, and then it was with these little ones, it was buy one get one free. So there was this 20 centimetres one, which was just £1, so I just got this as well, buy one get one free. So that was that, and then the final one was a 1.1 metre. It was 40 because it had a misprint on it, but it was on the selvage. So where is it? Yeah, so it's quite, so there it is, a misprint across the bottom, so quite low down, and because there's 1.1, I think I'll be able to squeeze something out of this. It's a stretch as well, another stretch viscose, and I just really love those colours, so I picked that up as well. That was £9, so I thought it was a bit of a bargain as well, so hopefully I'll be able to make something really nice with that. I'm thinking shirts with this one, to be honest, but yeah, in my colour palette, greens and rusts and blacks. And that is my fabric haul. So as you can see, I had an absolute wonderful time, spent a little bit over my budget, but not too bad. I think altogether I probably spent about £130. And that was, my budget was about 110 to be honest with you, so I feel like I did quite well. I've got some gorgeous fabrics, all in my colour palette. Some have got plans, some haven't. Some I'll get sewed up quite quickly, some will probably just sit in my stash for a while, but you know, we all know fabric and sewing, fabric buying and sewing are two completely different hobbies. And then towards the end of the day, the raffle was drawn, and I didn't win anything unfortunately, but that doesn't matter. It was just nice to be part of the day. Once we were back at Guthrie Ghani, got to have a drink and have a chat with people, and just had an amazing time. It was sad that Bex couldn't join us. Bex from What Bex Sews was meant to meet up with us, and I think we would have had an absolute blast. She'd saved up her pennies as well, and I know she wasn't very well, so you would definitely miss Bex, and hopefully you can come next time and join in the fun. So if you haven't been to SewBrum before and it's close enough for you to visit, there's people from quite far away as well that had come, so please, I urge you to come. It was absolutely fantastic, loved it. I spoke to people that I wouldn't have normally spoken to, you know, met some people, followed a few more people on Facebook and Instagram, and yeah, I just loved it, enjoyed every minute of it, and I've made some new friends through it, so that's great. Especially Sarah, so thanks so much for coming with me, Sarah. I had an amazing day, and hopefully we'll have lots more sewing catch-ups seeing as you're only around the corner. So that's all from me for now. I'll speak to you all soon, and happy sewing. Bye.